Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. How Krishna is attracted by his own beauty is described in Lalit Madhav 8.34. Upon seeing his own picture, Krishna, when he sees his own picture, Krishna lamented, how glorious this picture is. It is attracting me just as it attracts Radharani. After giving a summary description of Krishna's beauty, Sri Ramanand Rai began to speak of the spiritual energies of Lord Krishna. Spiritual energies of Lord Krishna are headed by Srimati Radharani. She is the first source. She is the source of all spiritual energies. She is the source of all the services. She is the source of all the spiritual energies that the devotees have. Spiritual energy is that when somebody is able to do their sadhana, when somebody is able to do devotional services, when somebody is cooking for the Lord, when somebody is making ornaments for the Lord, doing shringar of the Lord, when somebody is preaching, when somebody is counseling, these are all spiritual devotional services. When somebody is taking care of other devotees, um, when somebody is reading Srila Prabhupada books, when somebody is so all the devotional services, that energy, these are all spiritual services, and that energy is comes from Srimati Radharani. She is the source, she is the Shiromani, she is at the apex of all the spiritual energies. Krishna has immense energetic expansions, of which there are predominant. The predominant three are the internal energy, the external energy, and the marginal energy. Internal energy is Antaranga Shakti, Antar Anga Shakti. External energy is Bahir Anga Shakti, and the marginal energy is Tathastha Shakti. Marginal, on the border. It is neither fully spiritual nor fully material. And we in the because we are actually, we means the spirit soul. We are the spiritual energy. But now we have accepted a material gross body. That gross body is matter. Please give me one. Yes. So, because we have accepted this gross body is what? Made of gross elements, which is matter. That is the external energy. And uh, therefore, therefore, we become marginal energy because we are neither fully spiritual. The soul is spiritual. It is that spiritual spark because it is part and parcel of Krishna. But the body is not spiritual. Therefore, we fall under, we means all the living entities, the Jivatma, the entire humanity falls under marginal energy. This threefold division of energies is confirmed in the Vishnu Puran 6.7.61, where it is said that Vishnu has one spiritual energy which is manifested in three ways. When the spiritual energy is overwhelmed by ignorance, it is called the marginal energy. We, being the spiritual energy, we have become overwhelmed by ignorance. We are now covered with the curtain of ignorance. Therefore, we are the marginal energy. As far as the spiritual energy is concerned, it is exhibited in three forms because Krishna is a combination of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Sat, Chit, Anand. As far as his bliss and peacefulness are concerned, his spiritual energy is manifested as the pleasure giving potency. Because there is Anand, the as far as his bliss and peacefulness are concerned, to manifest that bliss. Anand means what? Anand and happiness are different. Happiness is at a lower level. Beyond that is Anand, because Anand is related to the soul and happiness is related to the mind and body. Happiness does not belong to the soul. If the soul is satisfied, then what the soul feels, that feeling is bliss, Anand, because the soul is spiritual. Bliss is spiritual. There is no bliss in the material world if there is no connection with the spiritual reality. Okay, at the most, somebody can be happy for some time, bodily happiness. Maybe somebody has is owning a very nice house, and there are many luxurious commodities inside the house. If somebody has pain in the feet, then they have a nice massaging chair, those electric chairs that are there, so this they can sit in that chair and get a nice massage. Or they have lot of money, so therefore they can go to the spa and have a nice massage. So that is happiness, that okay, bodily you are feeling some happiness, but that is not bliss, because as soon as that is over, the other stress, the other problems, they do not get solved just by this temporary happiness. So bliss is very much beyond the happiness level. So, as far as Krishna's bliss and peacefulness are concerned, the spiritual energy is manifested as the pleasure giving potency. In order to manifest this bliss, the pastimes of bliss, Krishna manifests as his own pleasure giving potency, and that pleasure giving potency is called Ladini Shakti. In and that Ladini Shakti is Srimati Radharani. The Ladini Shakti itself is Srimati Radharani. Pleasure giving potency is Srimati Radharani. So we sing in Narsimha Arati, if all of you know the Narsimha Arati. So we sing Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Prahlad Alladadayine. Lord Narsimha, what is he doing? He is giving pleasure to Prahlad. Prahlad. So that is Krishna gives pleasure to his devotees, but that pleasure giving potency is Srimati Radharani. Krishna, in order to manifest his pastimes of enjoying the pleasure or being in pleasure, he comes as the pleasure, he manifests as the pleasure giving potency. And that pleasure giving potency is Srimati Radharani. His eternity is a manifesting energy. Eternity's manifesting energy means there is no end for Krishna. Krishna was always there, will always be there, and there is no Adi and there is no Anta. Anadir Adir Govind Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the original cause of all causes. Whatever is happening in this world, in our life, in this universe, in other universes, it is not that Krishna is one of the reasons. Krishna is only the main reason. It is Krishna because of which everything is happening. So he's Sarva Karana Karanam and he's Anadir Adir. He doesn't have a beginning, he doesn't have an end. Many people want to know that when did Krishna become God? Krishna was always God. It is not that somebody can become God. It's not possible. Nobody can become God. God has always remained God. He has always been God. Even God doesn't know. Krishna doesn't know how, why is he God? That question who can answer? But why he is God? Because he is unlimited. He has, because he can, so therefore, that is the reason he's God. He's unlimited. He's eternal. He's full of knowledge. He's full of bliss, and he's ever youthful. He's inconceivable. So that is why he's God. And God, if we call somebody God and that person does not possess these qualities, that means we are fools to accept somebody as God who does not have these qualities. God means they have to have all of these things. So his eternity is a manifesting energy. Eternity means that he's constantly manifesting different energies, and his knowledge is manifested as spiritual perfection. So, spiritual perfection, what is the, he has all the knowledge, whether it is knowledge of this material world, any subject you take, that knowledge comes from where? Krishna is the original source, any subject, any subject. But what is the ultimate subject? Spiritual knowledge. And what is the success in that knowledge? Spiritual perfection. Therefore, when we say that Krishna is all knowledgeable or Krishna is Sat Chid Ananda, so Sat means eternity. Chit means one who is all knowledgeable. So that knowledge refers to this spiritual knowledge, and in that spiritual knowledge also, it is the perfection in spiritual knowledge. So spiritual perfection. As confirmed in the Vishnu Puran 1.12.62, the pleasure potency of Krishna gives Krishna transcendental pleasure and bliss. Pleasure potency is Srimati Radharani. So, pleasure potency of Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani, gives Krishna transcendental pleasure and bliss. And if Srimati Radharani engages any devotee, then by her mercy, by her blessings, by her grace, by her empowerment, such a devotee will be able to give pleasure to Krishna, transcendental pleasure and bliss to Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. Therefore, when we are serving Krishna, we should understand that it is the mercy and blessing of Srimati Radharani. And when we say bona fide spiritual master, who is a bona fide spiritual master? The bona fide spiritual master is the confidential maid servants of Srimati Radharani, and they come to this material world in order to train us so that we can be engaged in this confidential service of giving this transcendental pleasure and transcendental bliss to Krishna. That is the purpose. Therefore, bona fide spiritual master is a must if somebody wants to get the highest spiritual perfection. Without a bona fide spiritual master, the ultimate success cannot be achieved. Thus, when Krishna wants to enjoy pleasure, he exhibits his own spiritual potency known as Ahladini Shakti. His own spiritual potency. It is not that Srimati Radharani has come from somewhere else to give pleasure to Krishna. No. Krishna is Atmaram. He is completely satisfied within himself. He does not need anything. But he wants to exhibit this potency. He also wants to manifest these pastimes. He also manifests desires. Krishna manifests desires. It is not that Krishna is bound by desires. He manifests desires. He manifests the need to enjoy, and he exhibits his own spiritual potency, which is known as Ahladini Shakti. So we will pause here for today, and Krishna willing, we will continue reading tomorrow. We only have 2 chapters left, but I don't know, at this speed, it may take about a month or more to complete these 2 chapters. Uh, But I hope that we are able to take the essence in what we are reading, which is more important, rather than simply running, rushing to complete the book and then again take another book. So that's why I'm going slow, at the same time trying to share as much as possible. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for your kind association. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Thank you, Shama.